I'm sorry.
That's okay. I was just going to see if Trustee Winton was on by any chance, but that's okay.
The motion carries. We will proceed with the meeting with a quorum present. All right. At this time, do we still need to call the roll?
We do need to call roll. So that was for findings of necessity, and we're now going to call roll. If you'll permit me, Trustee Northwaite,
Here.
Trustee Smith,
Present.
Trustee Young Sigler,
Present.
and is Trustee Vasquez on? May not be. He is not here. We have a quorum present.
All right. Committee members, if you cannot hear or speak to the other committee members or board members, please state so now. And do we need to identify if anybody has any additional participants in the room, Secretary?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes, sir.
And for each committee member participating electronically, please identify any individuals who are present in the location from which you are participating. I'm alone.
I'm also by myself.
I as well.
Thank you. Right. We have one item on the agenda today, which is the approval of a new artificial intelligence policy called the Policy on Responsible Use of Artificial Intelligence at TSU, policy number 1.09. A copy of this policy is included in the board materials for this meeting. Dr. Milton will provide us information as it relates to this agenda item. Dr. Milton, the floor is now yours.
Thank you, Chair, Trustee, and distinguished Trustee Smith, Young Ziegler, and others who are out there. On behalf of President Tucker and the Faculty Senate, faculty, and on behalf of our IT department, we have Mr. Oglesby. I'm looking around, I can't see, and Sterling and his team. We come back to you with a full presentation regarding the appropriate, legal, ethical, and innovative use of artificial intelligence. Here at Tennessee State University, this institution is the forefront in shaping this thing called AI. Even from our last presentation, trustees, this tool, this technology innovation is currently impacting all disciplines all across the university, across the state, and across the nation and world. We have gotten together in terms of our staff to come back to you to present a policy that will help shape how we are to use this for teaching, learning, research, and preparedness for workforce development, but most importantly, the security, the safety, and the safeguards to make sure that we are all protected. I present to you Trustee Northfleet in the format that you requested, and looking at our sister institutions, which, by the way, I will add, we were part of shaping those policies with the help of and the guidance of the Tennessee Higher Ed Commission and with all of our colleagues. So you will see as you scroll down, we included the purpose, the scope, and we also included the definitions because you're going to hear many things about AI, generative, open, Chat GPT. This is beyond. We took a comprehensive review of presenting to you the fair use. And if you would scroll down, thank you very much. And we incorporated the general guidelines and the responsible use in the classroom, out of the classroom, in terms of productivity, as well as, and again, I have the IT team aboard who will also indicate our security use. So again, as you further scroll down, you will see how we are working with the accrediting agencies, as well as how to cite AI. when you use it for teaching, when you're writing papers and reports, as well as the ethical consideration. And Chair Norfleet, if you would allow, I also have the team available. You had a few questions to make sure about our privacy and safety. Like, what if there's an AI site that comes in? Do we have the procedures to block that site? So I'll stop here.
Thank you. Are you giving the floor to IT to provide?
Yes,
The
that was
representative
one
from
of
IT,
the
if you would
concerns.
like to speak.
Good morning, everyone. Sterling Sanders, Interim CIO here. Thanks for the handoff, Provost Melton. As indicated, in accordance to our information security policy, when it comes to the fact checking and validation of AI tools, it will be required that that it is reviewed by the OTS leadership team, in which that we ensure that it is compliant with our security protocols, and we do have the security means in order to prevent any AI that is harmful or offensive to the university to be blocked at the firewall level. And so, and we also make sure that users prevent entering any PII or other information without being vetted by the OTS department and also legal counsel as well. I turn it back to you, Provost Melton.
Yes, and I would like to give you all a walkthrough and a teachable moment of how we are able to work together. As you know, AI is evolving and developing as we speak. TSU has a research center called AI for All, which is worldwide known. What happens when we have new tools, such as we had a brand new tool to hit the market over the weekend? Before we send that out to our faculty and staff, we have a team of researchers, and we call them our AI fellows. And I'm proud to share with you our own trustee, Dr. Young Ziegler, is one of those fellows. What we do before we even enter that AI tool in our system, we test, evaluate that tool out. We test it for, first of all and foremost, security and privacy, how it integrates within our system. Then we test it out for teaching and learning, meaning that we actually host pilots to see the impact. Will it improve student outcomes, productivity? Once we have vetted that particular tool, we then work with the company to make sure that we are able to shape it to help us in terms of education. From that point, trustees, we then offer in-service. Anyone to use this tool has to go through training. So if someone finds a new tool over the weekend and all of us start using it, I'm able to work with IT, as Sterling indicated, we can block that tool. So again, Tennessee State is one of the most stringent institution when it comes to applied AI in terms of making sure it's safe, secure, and will produce the outcomes that we want, as well as the alignment with workforce preparedness.
Dr. Melton, if I could, just to
Yes.
provide the trustees an example. Recently, we had a tool that was introduced into the university that called Read AI,
Yes.
that would attach itself to meetings and start recording those meetings, and then produce a transcript of that meeting along with the recording to any of the participants that was on that meeting. It would send an email of everyone that was on that meeting. It would send the transcript out to that audience. That was an untested, unapproved AI tool inside of the university. We blocked that tool across the entire university at the firewall level, and immediately eradicated that from the enterprise.
And yes, and with that, and thank you for that, I also want to share with you on behalf of all of your major companies, Apple, Microsoft, and this Wednesday, President Tucker and I and Jerome, and I'm looking for Lolita and others, will be meeting with Oracle because we stand to be one of their test sites for artificial intelligence. And trustees, I am pleased to confirm today we have received in writing from Amazon regarding their machine learning language of AI that we will be part of their executive higher ed team. So again, having this policy sets TSU up as a forefront in looking at, again, the legal appropriate use of AI. Oh, by the way, and we stand to receive additional funding. Thank you.
Chair
Okay.
Northfleet, I have a question.
Okay. I guess I was just about to make sure we could move on to questions. Secretary Brown, is that okay with you?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Yes, Trustee Smith.
Okay, so I just kind of have a question about the links at the bottom of the policy, and maybe this is a Jeanette kind of question. Those links are not all to TSU policies. One is to the state website and another outside policy. So if they change the information at that links, if we implement the actual links into our policy, we have no control over that. So is that really a good practice to link to an outside website, or should we just make it a reference?
Yeah, that's not something that we typically do. One thing that we're working on right now, and I may have, I believe we've discussed this before, is that we're moving to a new policy portal. And as part of that policy portal, we won't have any of these links like this anyway. We will have, you'll click on it and it will go to a link within our own policy portal. So it'll all be self-contained. But you're correct. We don't typically have links out to third-party policies. We can have further discussion about whether we want to do that with respect to this particular policy. And I can ask the others on the call. I don't know, Dr. Melton, if you want to speak to the inclusion of these.
Can I just say that since you're working to move into a different direction and to that point as well, why don't we just remove those links? And I think that even with the TSU Student Code of Conduct, if there's a policy number right there, can we just list the policy number and not necessarily the link? And then that SREB link needs to be removed as well. I think it's a little further down. I understand the reference, but I think for our policy piece, we don't need to add that. And additionally, I wanted to ask a question related to where is this category categorized, this policy categorized? Is this a general policy, or is this going to fall and be housed under academic affairs? Because I believe now currently academic affairs is listed as 2 and 1 is general. So who is the responsible party when we're going to update this policy moving forward?
So this one is listed as policy 1.09, which is the general university-wide policy.
Mm-hmm. And academic affairs is categorized differently. Is that correct? And is academic affairs housing this policy moving forward?
No, academic affairs would not house this particular policy because it has a university-wide application, although they may be the ones responsible for updating at least that portion with respect to the academic component. As Dr. Melton said, our policy is more robust than what the new law requires. The new law speaks to implementing a policy with respect to instructional use of AI in particular. However, our policy is really a two-part approach. It's not just about the instructional component, but also a university-wide employee component. So it's a little bit different in that regard. And you'll see the responsible offices listed here are academic affairs, technology services. And then we did list student affairs here as well, because we think that there could be a student conduct piece that might evolve as time goes by. So we were just trying to anticipate that a little bit and how the student code of conduct might be implemented, especially if we have situations with plagiarism and things of that nature.
Okay. Are there any additional questions from the committee members? Right. Thank you, Dr. Milton. Is there a motion to approve the recommendation of the policy based on our suggestion to remove any of the links at the bottom of this policy for the policy on responsible use of artificial intelligence at TSU to the full board for approval?
And
So moved.
Trustee Norfleet, I want to make sure that I'm clear for my note-taking purposes. We want to remove not just those, your request is to remove not just bullet points 3 and 4 there, the last 2 sites completely, since they're to external entities, but then also to remove the hyperlink in the code of conduct.
Yes, that's my preference.
Okay, so.
And I think that's the committee's preference, unless anybody else has a different recommendation from the committee.
No, that is, I'll make that motion.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Secretary Brown, please call the roll.
Trustee Norfleet,
Yes.
Trustee Smith,
Yes.
Trustee Young Sigler,
Yes.
motion carries.
The motion is approved. Is there any additional business? Seeing none, is there a motion to adjourn this meeting?
So moved.
Any discussion? Hearing none.
We need a second.
Second, please.
Second.
Right. Secretary, please call the roll.
Trustee Norfleet,
Yes.
Trustee Smith,
Yes.
Trustee Young Sigler,
Yes.
it passes.
All right. The motion is approved and we are adjourned. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you,
And-
trustees. We appreciate you.
And thank you, trustees. We're going to
Thank
put
you.
TSU on the map. Please know. And I thank you for your support. Good things to come.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
All right, take care.